Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. Cheese, how are you, mate? How was the bye?
No, it was pretty low key. I mean, we had that 3-day camp. Didn't do much after that, to be honest. Mrs. has work now. She's working, so it's hard to get away, and I don't think she'll let me go travel the world without her. So I just chilled around here. Had a little thing on Saturday with Rads for their Salty Pigs team. They got some new sponsorships coming, so they're I don't know if the buy round wants to sponsor the Salty Pigs over in Gold Coast Nines next year. But yeah, that finished up at about 7 o'clock, and then yeah, everyone in the household's sick, so
That's no fun.
So not too much went on. Camp was hard, sucked.
Was it?
It was even worse how I was feeling on the Monday. So nothing to report. Footy was pretty average to watch this week, I'll be honest. I liked the first game, and I couldn't tune into the Sharks game.
Yeah, I was still rattled from this morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me
to hear about that, mate.
Hard for me to want to talk about the football, to be honest. Bit rattled.
Do you think it was offside?
No. The VAR said no, so.
We're just going to believe technology now.
Yeah. Conspiracy theorists. But, no, I was very disappointed. Best team won, though, but the hate goes on.
How long is it now? 56 years?
Since 1966, yeah, so long time.
58 years.
Don't know.
That's quick math. Well, I'm happy with that. Even if it's wrong, it's quick.
Yeah, it's quick. Ballpark figure. Speaking of conspiracy theorists, it was nearly one of the biggest days in history yesterday with the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Mate, it's...
I couldn't believe it. I saw it on Twitter, but then I watched the video. Mate, the man's just got shot, and he gets up and just throws the yolza. He's a gangster, bro.
Mate, that was so close to being one of the biggest stories in decades. I know in America they've had presidents assassinated. You know, it's amazing just how split America is, and how some news outlets covered it. And you just put your political things to one side and just report the truth and just say he's been shot at. Not there's one is he's fell or being attacked. It's no. He's been shot at.
Yeah.
I did breathe a huge sigh of relief though, because I've got a bet on him to win the presidential election.
Surely the bet's void.
Well, I've been racking my brain, and I was like, I wonder if Ladbrokes would have paid out. What they would do? If someone puts a bet on Joe Biden and he passes from ill health, you're not going to get the bet refunded. But if Trump got assassinated, would Ladbrokes have refunded me my bet, or would it just pass on to the next?
I think they would have refunded.
You reckon refunded, or would they would have moved the bet to which party is he? Is he Republican candidate?
No, I think.
But it's very specific.
I think they would have refunded the bet.
Might have to get onto Tommy Hackett and see what they would have done, but he was paying.
He's gonna milk it for everything it's worth now too.
He was paying $1.60, so I lobbed a couple of hundred on there for. It seemed like a safe bet.
He's gonna ease into about $1.30 now.
Oh, it'd be very short. It'd be very short
after that. But imagine it would have been one of the biggest days in history. Because imagine JFK with social media around.
Yeah.
And the whole thing videoed.
Yeah. Insane.
And just all everywhere.
Yeah. It's actually insane when you think about just how close it came to being like that. It's going to be spoken about for years anyway and for decades. But it
would have been like a monumentous moment in our lives.
It really would have. Anyway, talking about split camps, red v blue, Democrat, Republican. The United States have got their politics, but they don't have state of origin.
No, they don't.
The Blues heading up to Queensland. This podcast will come out on Tuesday. We're recording Monday, so it will be tomorrow. Do you reckon New South Wales can win? I know you're a Queensland supporter and you back Queensland, but I think Queensland will win, but I'm starting to get a bit of the New South Wales Blues belief.
I am a Queensland supporter, but I also support rugby league, and like my brain tells me New South Wales will win this game.
What is it that you think? What's going to get them over the line?
I just think the way they played last game, it was just so dominant, and they took the foot off the pedal sort of in the second half. But if they can play that style of football where they just pretty much bashed Queensland up. Like, the only thing I'm thinking is the home ground advantage is huge for Queensland. History suggests that it's a tough job for New South Wales to win. But if Moses can play even remotely close to the way he played with his kicking game, Angus Crichton absolutely dominating, I just feel like New South Wales have a great side. And Queensland have had a lot of changes. There's a few older heads in the Queensland team with, Kurt Capewell, Dane Gagai.
I felt.
It hurts me.
Yeah,
it hurts me because I want Queensland to win, but I just look at the teams and I see like Mitch Barnett's there. He's a great pickup for New South Wales. I just don't see Queensland winning it, but
man, I 100% know what you're saying, and I fell into exactly the same trap 2 years ago. New South Wales smashed Queensland in Perth, game 2.
Yeah,
1-1.
I remember that.
Going into the Suncorp decider, and I was there, and I was like, New South Wales win this. Like, all signs pointed towards a New South Wales dominant victory. Like, how do Queensland win? Like, how do they... And they get to that arena.
But a Munster Magic, that one was.
Munster Magic. Yeah. Gagai and Matt Burton went at it in the 41st minute. Was it premeditated?
Have you seen the movie Goon?
No.
It's about like... that's why they put Dane Gagai in there. It's about like people used to sign ice hockey players and their only job was to go in there and beat up the best player in the game.
Is it a documentary or a...
Nah, it's a movie. It's with Stifler.
Oh, right.
But they bring Dane Gagai in there. He's going to have to bash, I don't know, Moses or Crichton. I'd probably be going for Moses out of those two. If he bashes one of them two, they might win the game.
Looking at the teams on paper, for me, it's the bench of New South Wales that is so strong, and I think I've got it over the bench of Queensland.
There's one interesting one on the bench for Queensland though that really could break the game open with Kalen.
Yeah, he could.
And I don't know how Billy's going to use him, but Billy's so much smarter than us two that he's probably got a pretty good plan. And I honestly think that's where they win the game, is somehow injecting him in the team, and because there's not a lot of X factor in the. There's Reece Walsh and then maybe Hamaso.
Yeah,
and then the rest are just workers.
Yeah, Ben Hunt, long kick, early kick out of dummy half. I know what you said. Like, for me, the decision to play Kalen Ponga off the bench alongside a Harry Grant, it's an untraditional bench. So usually you've got 4 forwards or 3 forwards plus 1 utility, like a Connor Watson that can cover 9, can play in the forwards if needs be, at a stretch, could play, can play in the halves. And if another out, you don't, you sort of plan if one outside back goes down, here's the juggle that'll come into play. Crichton could play centre. Sorry, Angus Crichton, that is. Liam Martin at a stretch, Cam Murray. You could see a rejig there. So you go 4 forwards or 3 plus 1 utility style player. So a Harry Grant, for instance, or a genuine dummy half. But with Kalen Ponga coming in, it was the same with Cobbo. It's hard to see how they come into the game and people go, oh, well, he came on and played in the middle before. But he did have Spencer Leniu running at him.
No.
And for me, Cheese, you know what it's like defending in the middle, that middle 4, or even to a further extent, a middle 6 when you take the edges in. So you could have Cotter, Grant, say Mo Fodawaker, and Kalen Ponga as your middle 4, which isn't particularly big or particularly aggressive. So some teams would go, well, what we'll do is we'll swap KP and we'll swap him with one of the edges, a Capewell, which is Capewell or Nanai. They're not exactly what you'd call like really aggressive back rowers.
No.
And then you've still got KP defending next to Dearden or Cherry Evans, which again leaves you exposed to an extent. And I just don't know how they're going to be able to get away with having a middle 4 of that at some point in the game. That Barnett, Barnett, Yo, and Leniu could be on at that time as well, and likely will be. Like that's, I don't understand how you. I know what Kalen Ponga brings with the ball, but I'm looking at it from the other side, and that for me is danger of those 4 or a middle 4 of that. It just boggles my mind how that's going to work.
Me too. I guess like when he gets on, there's going to be a lot of moving the ball around, trying to, I guess, fatigue the forwards. But yeah, most of the time when Spencer comes on, everyone's already tired. And when he gets the ball, it's going to be tough luck if you're Kalen Ponga next to Harry Grant. Like even Ruben Cotter, he's brave, but he's smaller. Like he's like 95, 96 kilo, I reckon.
Yeah, he's not a big body.
Exactly. And Matt, yeah, I just totally agree with you. I think when Kalen goes on, it could be alarm bells ringing in the middle part of the field.
And you know what, Matt? I still think Queensland will win because they're at home.
That's
and
amazing.
They'll just find a way. And even though I've made a very strong case there, and for all intents and purposes, New South Wales should win, but the very fact that it's at Queensland or at
yeah, I agree with you. It's just it's so hard to find ways. Like I can't look at the Queensland team and tell you how they're going to win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you. Like the early kicking game was, and get down there and limit their meters with the ball or turn their forwards around. Like it gets nullified now that Moses is kicking games on. Like you might be in a bad position, but he's going to kick the ball all the way down to the other side of the field every time.
Yeah, we know Queensland have got points in them. Reece Walsh will create opportunities. The hammer is just a freak. Cherry Evans.
What's he got? How many? He's scored in every single Origin he's played, Hammer?
Has he? Obviously, Cobbo can finish. Hammer.
I think he's already like top 5 most Origin tries.
Is he?
He's like 11 or something stupid.
All right, what we're going to do, Cheese. Charlie's instructed us to pick a combined Queensland and New South Wales team. So
just from the team this week?
Yeah, just from the team this week. So we got Walsh or Edwards.
I'm going Edwards.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have your team.
Yeah, all right. Okay. No, I'll go. Actually, I'll go with you. As much Reece Walsh brings a lot of X factor, but I'm gonna go Edwards. Pick 2 wingers from Toto, Lomax, Cobbo, and Holmes. I'll go Cobbo and Toto.
I'll go Toto and
Actually, maybe Cobbo and Lomax. I'm gonna go. No, yeah, I'm gonna switch Cobbo and Lomax.
I'm going to go Toto and Lomax.
All right, 2 centres. Hammer, Gagai, Best, or Stephen Crichton. 2 of those.
Those ones are easy, I reckon.
Crichton and Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. With you on that. A 6 Dearden and Luai.
I'm going to go Luai.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to go Cherry Evans too.
I'd have probably got, you know what I would have probably gone of all the halves? Cherry Evans and Moses together. But I'll go Cherry. I'm going to mirror you. Cherry Evans and Luai in the halves. Front row, 2 Cotter, Collins, Trebojevic, and Haas. I know you're going to say Collins because he's your teammate.
I'll go Collins and Haas. We need 2 front rowers, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm happy with Collins and Haas.
Yeah, me too. Hunt or Robson?
I'm going Harry.
Well, we're going to get to the bench later.
No, that's not my bench. He's my starting.
Oh, he's your starter. Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. I'll go Ben Hunt. Back rowers. Liam Martin, Angus Crichton, Capewell, or Nane?
I would go Angus Crichton and Cam Murray.
On the edge? No Liam Martin?
No, he's in there, but he's coming off the bench.
Oh, is he? What about your lock? But I'm going to go Martin and Crichton, by the way, as my edges. They were amazing. Lock?
Lock, I'm going to go Isaiah Yeo.
To start?
Mate, just because he... Is that all right?
Of course it is, mate. It's your team. You're the coach.
Thank you.
I'm going to go Carrigan as my lock.
Yeah.
What's your bench?
My bench is no one on the Queensland team. Connor Watson, Mitch Barnett, Spencer Leniu, and Liam Martin. Mate, half my team is bloody used away.
It's over.
It's a team of stars, but is it a star team?
A team of champions or a
Who's your bench?
Team. Mine would be just as long as Spencer Lanu's in there, I probably wouldn't care. I'd go Grant, Lenu, Barnett, and Yo.
Yeah,
there's our combines. It's tough, that isn't it?
Oh.
I can imagine it's like.
But it's sad because how many? I think we picked about 4 Queenslanders in a 7-man squad.
Yeah, I am genuinely excited for the game. I think it's going to be fantastic.
They do love this narrative, though, the underdog story.
They do. But I think Queensland are
Felice Kafusi, too. Another 30K. That bastard, bro. What the...
Did he get his 30K for 18th man?
Yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of all things Queensland, mate, the Broncos are in free fall. That was a game.
You ruled us out last year. Do you think they're gone?
They need to do exactly the same. You won 6 from 7, and that's what they need to do.
Have they got 7 left?
7 games left. They need 6 wins. They play the Knights away with their Origin players backing up. The Dogs at home. The Titans away. Cowboys away. Eels, Dolphins at Suncorp, and the Storm at home. I guess the Storm won't matter because they'll probably be in a position to rest their starting team. Look, it's doable. It's definitely doable. But after 6 straight losses, it's going to be bloody hard. Like, I thought we'd saw a line in the sand moment, and the season starts now after the performance against Penrith, which was, I think, was their best performance of the year, but didn't get the result, obviously. But just left themselves far too much to do. I'm going to back them to make it, but even when if they make it, it's for a team that most people thought were right in the mix with you guys at the Roosters to challenge the Penrith Panthers. It's a disastrous season.
Yeah, where has it gone wrong for them, do you think?
Couple of things sort of spring to mind. It can be not carrying your divots, but carrying your what ifs. Like, they were so close last year, and that would hurt so much. Like, I've been on the losing end of grand finals more than I care to admit, and it hurts like hell. But when you basically had it, you're thinking back to that day, there would just be so many times it would replay over your head, what if? And I think that, as on an individual level, could hurt you because they've not been the same team and they've not looked like the same team. It would hurt you, but it would also, like, how would you look at your teammates and, like, has that been addressed? I don't know. And has it been genuinely addressed to be, look, let's move on and not even be positive about what we achieved. It can be really difficult to overcome. And then also, sometimes when you're in that predicament, and you start winning games and you're like, all right, okay, the new opportunity's coming. But then sometimes you're looking at it and you go, I've just realised how bloody hard it was and how difficult it is to get the stars to align, and how, they were relatively injury-free last year. And now this year they're not, with Reynolds missing a lot of football, Walsh missing a lot of football. They've had, obviously, they've lost players like all good clubs do in Flegler and Farnworth, but Mariners come in and been a permanent fixture this year. Willison it has come in and been a permanent fixture, not looked out of place, but I reckon it's a bit of that, of the what ifs maybe hanging around, and also the Bronco Mania stuff. Like, it almost sends the wrong message. Like, everybody's in love with that football team in Brisbane. Maybe the public need to fall out of love with them a little bit, and
it's just external pressure, isn't it?
Oh, I don't even know if it's. See, normally when a team are underperforming, people don't want to be associated with them. People like people boo them and put shit on them, and your own fans sort of turn against you. And I don't know exactly what it's like up there, but you see the fan days in the school holidays or the average training day, and they're being treated like rock stars. And I don't know if that would play on the psyche where you're going, well,
we're actually doing all right.
We're actually doing all right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to articulate. Yeah. Well, it's not that bad. Everyone's giving us
they
the love.
Us.
Yeah, they love us. Yeah.
You are the man.
Yeah. We're actually going all right. It doesn't matter if we're a bit low on the ladder.
I guess the Origin burns them as well pretty bad. I think I was just thinking about when you're talking, what's strange is, like, we're so fortunate at the Roosters over the few Origins that we've had, because both Origin games we've had a bye, and we haven't had to rest anyone. Like, we haven't had most of our boys with us were sweet to back up, and I think this was the only game that we would have missed players, but because we had a bye, we didn't miss any. And I don't know if the Broncos got that same treatment. Like, through their breaks, they missed Walsh for every time he played Origin, he wasn't able to play. And then he got hurt during Origin. He wasn't able to play again. I don't know. It's weird. How can the structure of the competition change a little bit to...
But still, I reckon...
Because I don't think we've had any Origin players miss.
Yeah, I know what you said. And then you had a longer turnaround a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think if you asked any coach, they'd rather have Origin players than not have Origin players. It's a great headache to have. Can I ask you, going back to last year, and you were in the same situation as the Broncos, where expected to be a top 4 team, the Roosters, season 2023. I think it's fair to say at the beginning of the season. And then found yourself in a situation where finals were looking unlikely, and it was one of those, I guess, maybe outside looking in, it's, okay, here's your situation, you've got to win 6 from 7. What was it like internally, though? Like, when are you thinking like that, or are you just thinking 1 week, or are you thinking, what's the motivation? Like, we're too good to not miss out, and then it just happens? Like, what was going on inside the Roosters that this time last year?
Well, it was bloody dreadful. Like, you go into every training session, it's like a morgue, sort of. And I think if it wasn't for the amount of meetings we had and the leadership group really standing up, and pretty much, Jared, Teddy, Luke Keary, they pretty much set the tempo. And it wasn't about, we've got to win 6 from 7. It's like, we just need to win the next one and the next one and the next one, and just keep worrying about the week in front of you, rather than, because if you focus on that big task ahead, you lose sight of what's really important. Like, you've just got to win one game at a time, and if you can notch up one game at a time, you'll make the finals. And I think if you were to focus on the end goal rather than how to get to the end goal, it's never a good idea in pretty much anything you do. But it was a big push from the leadership group, massive push from Robbo, and like his willingness, I think, to accept the fact that if we don't get it done, like, it's not the end of the world. But you know what I mean? Like, that's how it felt. It didn't feel like he was putting all this pressure on us. Like, if we don't win, we're fucking losers or anything like that. It was just like...
really? So it's a bit more of a softer...
Yeah,
sorry, not a softer...
he just took a lot of tension out of it.
Yeah. So there wasn't, like, Tedesco, Hargreaves, Smith, Collins, Marnott, Joey Marnott. You guys are way better than what the shit you're putting out here. Like, get your shit together. It was...
Yeah, he had that meeting before it was 6 of the last 7. But then towards the back end, it kind of just, he released like a lot of the tension between the team by just pretty much accepting it. And I know that would have been tough for him to do. But at the end of the day, we started playing for each other rather than playing to win. And that's a very important thing.
It's a different mindset, that.
Yeah.
Playing for each other, not playing to win.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Broncos can do it.
No, I actually think they will.
You remember last year, the Broncos, when they were going there on their great run, you saw how tight that team was. You saw how much enjoyment they were having. You're not seeing that anymore, are you?
Well, no, because you don't have fun when you lose.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And they just need to find that part of rugby league again. Find that, how you guys can all enjoy the game together. And that's I reckon exactly what we found at the Roosters.
They've got a run that, you go one game at a time, and I reckon arguably the hardest game that they've got is the Knights away. I know they play the Dogs at home, but the Knights after Origin, you've got to imagine Best will back up. You've got to imagine if Kalen Ponga won't have like massive minutes, so you've got to imagine he'll back up. And then does Carrigan, Haas, who else? Cobbo. Do they back up?
They have to.
They kind of have to. The Walsh
have to.
Walsh, yeah. They sort of do, don't they?
Well, these are all teams they've lost to this year, eh?
It's hard to imagine the Broncos not playing finals. And you don't want to... Oh, mate, you just can't imagine them not playing finals this year. But then they could fall into that trap of, no, everyone loves us, it's fine, we are too good not to play. And it just gets too much. But, yeah, it's the start. I think there's a few issues there that they've got to sort out, but it's good that you made that point of just how the leaders can come together and get them back on the right page. I think I've said this before. I think Carrigan's the man for that. In all fairness, we've spoken a lot about the Broncos, and everybody is. Got to give credit to the Dragons, man. They had a great performance up there. Kyle Flanagan played really well. That left edge, Tui Pelotu, was outstanding. Like, that left edge really worked well. And it's even saying that you've got to win 6 from 7. The Dragons are on a positive record now, so I think they're 8 wins, 7 losses, and they're outside the 8. So there's no guarantees this year.
They're 9 wins, 8 losses.
Sorry, 9 wins, 8 losses. They're outside the 8. There's no guarantees that a positive record will get you in. So Broncos just...
Well, the Dragons against us, it was like 20-12 with 20 minutes to go, and then it just ended up being a blowout at the end there. Like, they're a real side. I said it from the start of the year, Jimmy. So.
I know you bring it up nearly every week, mate. Don't worry. But yeah, it's crazy. They're 9 wins, 8 losses, positive record, and outside the 8. It just shows how tight that competition is. So yeah, I mean, like I say, it's so difficult to imagine the Broncos and the class that they have not being there come September, and also the competition loses out. So obviously, the fanfare of Brisbane and everything that they've managed to build up there, but some of the game's biggest players and most marketable stars won't be appearing in finals already with no South Sydney players.
Conspiracies.
What, you think the NRL want them in?
I'm starting to think conspiracies. Jimmy, don't do that to me.
I think if you're running a business, you definitely want the Broncos in your finals. They bring so much attention, and yeah, obviously no Souths, no Paro, 2 big clubs. They won't be playing finals this year. One team that is on track to play finals and had a great victory yesterday was the Newcastle Knights. Turbo back at fullback after, I think he did a week in the centres.
I don't think he'll be going back.
See, it was strange for me.
Why?
Well, I don't really see the point in playing him at fullback in yesterday's game when you've got Hopewate and Garrick there.
Well, maybe if they want to make a run for the finals.
But I thought they were just going to get K's in his legs and then put him back to fullback eventually. But
I don't know. I'm not part of the coaching staff there.
No. He's probably not. Yeah, you're probably right. He ain't going back. He was in second gear yesterday as well. Still was like one of the best players on the park. So, but like I say, the Knights were not up to much, which probably isn't good for the Broncos because you'd imagine O'Brien will get a response from them. Jason Ryles, you spoke about being coached by him. He's going to, he's been, I don't know if he's not going to leave the Storm to coach the Parramatta Eels this year, but he's going to leave the Storm to concentrate on coaching them for next year. For me, that doesn't really make sense.
Taking time off to prepare?
No, well, I think the idea is he'd step down from his role at the Storm to prepare himself and the Parramatta Eels to coach them next year, but not coach them this year, even though he wouldn't be tied to an organisation. So he'd just be concentrating on, I don't know.
So what? So would he be at the club?
Not in an official capacity, just getting shit ready to start. I think he's probably not wanting to start because they're likely to be in contention for a wooden spoon, and you wouldn't want to start and then have that wooden spoon next to you. Know. They play the Tigers in round 27. Any
trophy is better than no trophy.
They play the Tigers in round 27, which legitimately could be the loser takes it. Yeah, that's the only. I can only think that's the thing that's putting him off from just getting in there. Like now, if he gets that release from the Storm, like just get in there and start, get a feel for the place.
Yeah, I wonder if the Storm have said anything to him.
No, I think the Storm are open to discussion.
Yeah, maybe they're discussing him going to coach. Maybe they're the reason he's saying, "I'll go there to prepare to coach."
No, but I think that they're saying we'll let you just go and prepare. I just don't see the point.
Can't you just prepare from the other? Well, prepare at home.
Exactly. Yeah. Do it in your spare. Well, I know assistant coaches don't have much spare time, but just do it then.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Tigers.
Yeah, but what's he doing? Like, is he just in his working time? He's clipping up clips of the Storm. Just copy and paste those motherfucking clips.
It's not the same as being a head coach. Wayne Bennett is doing elements with South Sydney, I would say now. But if I'm Ryles, I think if you're Parramatta, you want him there yesterday. But then again, he might win a premiership with the Storm this year. You never know. It'd be strange for him to leave.
I think he did miss out on the 2021.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't think he was there.
The Sharks, worst loss of the year. Sorry, not the Sharks. The Sharks beat the Tigers and gave them the worst loss of the year.
Whose home game was it?
That was at Shark Park.
Yeah. Tigers aren't very good swimmers.
No. Well done. Yeah, but they were bloody dreadful. Will Kennedy facing a one-game suspension for...
I turned that game off really early.
Well, he ran into the referee.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Is that...
You're kidding me.
That's a joke, right?
He's not facing 1 week.
He is. He got a grade 2.
A grade 2 what? Support play?
You know, some people have made the argument, you can't have it where the referees are getting touched, but I understand that argument, and nobody wants to see referees are under an enormous amount of pressure, and no one wants to see them being contacted. But in this particular incident, Will Kennedy is trying to support his teammate to score a try. It is pure accidental.
If he gets a week for that, that's an absolute...
Well, for me, it was Jerome Hughes that's messed it up, and Melbourne. So I think Jerome Hughes got a grade 1, which was a fine for touching the referee.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I can't remember exactly if he got a game.
He got a week.
Yeah, he got a week, and he didn't fight it because I think he was injured. So he just took it. It's like, no, these things happen by accident. And I know we've seen examples where you could argue in the past that they weren't purely accidental. But, and obviously it filters down in, to local grade football and in junior ranks. But still, if it's an accident, it's an accident. Like, Will Kennedy, in no way, shape or form, went to run into the referee, and it just boggles my mind why the NRL would want to suspend a player for something like that.
His one's different to Jerome's. It's even lesser because Jerome's is like a little push to the side. Like Kennedy's just looking the other way and runs straight into him. If he gets a week for that, it's never mind.
Well, I think. Actually, just thinking back, Trindle ran into the referee against the Dogs, and Kickow got a try taken off him.
Yeah, that's
back in like round 2 or 3 earlier in the year.
Yeah, I remember that. There's no way Kickow's going to stop that.
No, Trindle ran in, and he got a penalty. Oh, sorry, the try was taken away. What is going on with our game at times, Cheese? Honestly.
These refs need to keep their heads on a swivel.
You said it. All right, we've got some really good questions coming. I was actually at a sports dinner on Friday out of Penrith, and I was confronted by people like saying I knew who that person was that you said last week, the actor.
What?
You said an actor. I can't even remember who it is now.
Johnny Sins.
Yeah. And these guys are, hey, Johnny Sins. And I'm like, what? Hey, Johnny Sins. I'm like, what are you on about? And they were like, are you and Cheese? Johnny Sins. I was like, oh, right, okay, yeah. And they're like, bullshit, you know he is. I was like, mate, I don't.
Actually, Dale Finucane sent me a message. He said, look at Jimmy acting all high and mighty like he doesn't know who he is.
Mate, I don't look at their names. That's not what I'm doing that for. Speaking of all things... Speaking of all things acting, Brendan Cowell has come in with a question. Cheese, James is quite the actor. Thanks, Brendan. Would you consider Hollywood?
Would I consider Hollywood?
Yes.
What do you mean Hollywood?
Fucking hell. Do you want me to draw you a picture? Acting.
No, I would not consider acting.
Why not?
It's too hard.
It is bloody hard. It is bloody hard.
I'm flat stick trying to act like I'm not an idiot. So it's very tough.
Just be yourself, as they say. Rosita Thomas. Rosita. Yes.
Mamacita Rosita.
That is so bad, me attempting to read that name. Should your surname be written on the back of playing jerseys and then let themselves down like soccer? Ugh, you mean like in England? Like soccer. Surname on the back.
I love the idea of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love the idea of it. It's just, it's super special though. You know what I mean? I think if you do it every game, it might dull the effect.
We just have your squad number. You get your number and you get your name on the back.
Is that what they do in Super League? Is it?
Yeah, you get your squad number, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think your whole family would love that.
It's just, it makes you way more marketable. And I think you'd see more fans with player numbers and names on the back as well. Like, I reckon
Graham's out there.
Like, imagine like bouncing up to the Roosters game and like people have got Smith 9 on the back. Or Warrior Hargreaves. Number 10. Like, I think we're missing a trick there. Unfortunately, it's a sponsor there that goes there in the NRL, and that's got a monetary value. But I think if it's just pure economics, I think you'd make more in terms of marketing and find someone else to throw out sponsor. But anyway, got a question from MCG6991, who's obviously a fan of the Sunday Sin Bin. How many people wide is acceptable to walk along a footpath? Because I've got a bit of beef with this. So people that...
I mean, 3 is totally unacceptable.
So, yeah, 3... Yeah.
3 is...
3
is totally unacceptable.
Yeah. 2, maybe.
Maybe.
But don't be...
How big?
Well, mate, don't be dominating the footpath.
No, I'd say if there's two 5'3" under, like maybe a kid and a mother, that's sweet. But if it's 2 6'5" giant, you can't stand next to each other.
No, it's not even about how tall. It's like why take up the whole footpath? Like if you're there with your entourage, like
single file.
Single file might be asking a bit much, but at least in twos.
Stagger.
Yeah. And maybe you're not going to be able to talk to everyone, but you're on a public footpath. Or the worst is, so I'm running into like this entourage and these old ladies wouldn't even move off the way. I nearly have to shoulder charge.
I would have put you in the bin for a couple of weeks.
I was honestly just like, I didn't spray them to their face. I was just like, as it ran past.
Where'd you spray them to?
Like, just as it ran. I had to go like up and around, like onto this little grassy bit. I was like, fuck. Fucking dithers. Fucking like shaking my head. But
No, yeah, 3 is totally unacceptable.
yeah.
And I think you know that, unless these old ladies didn't.
It's not. I'm not just discriminating against old ladies. There's a multitude of different demographics that like to dominate a pathway.
Jeez, you sounded so smart just then.
Did I?
Yes. Whoa.
I'm angry as well because
You are, that was very, very well done. There's a multitude of demographic.
yeah, it's not.
I don't
it's
even
not,
know what half that shit means.
It's not just select groups, like from young and old, all different backgrounds, mums with pushchairs, dads with kids. Fucking clear the way.
I'm glad you broke that down for me.
Yeah.
It's not just one group.
Yeah. Just don't, no matter what your background is or your age, fucking get out the way and just think about others.
And is it weird if you're walking on the right side? Because you know, like the universal rule is you keep to the left.
They've even.
It's not a rule though.
In certain pathways and runs that I go on, they do have a
Keep left.
Yeah, keep left, walking past. You know, keep the flow going.
That's more of a recommendation though.
I mean, look, I don't think you're going to get a fine by the police for running on the wrong side of the road. But yeah, it is a bit of a bugbear of mine. There's lots of things that piss me off, and that is just one of them.
MCG.
Last question from blah blah 1334. Is Jared Warrior-Hargreaves the greatest ever Kiwi rugby league player?
I don't think so. I'm trying. What, greatest ever Kiwi rugby league player? I don't know. He'd be up there. What do you think?
I'm going to go yes.
Really? We'll elaborate.
No, you're his teammate. You just don't think he's in.
Mate, there's heaps of great.
Who'd be better than him?
Ruben Wickie'd be up there. Jesse Brom's not far off. Benji Marshall.
Yeah, but for longevity in that position.
What's Jesse Brom?
Yeah, maybe Bromwich doesn't get enough.
He's at like 330.
Maybe he doesn't get enough accolades because he played it like in Melbourne and out of the Sydney. Like Roosters probably get
You know what I mean? Ruben Wickie played like 340, 350 nearly. Something like that. Or 330. He was quite the enforcer.
All right, so maybe it's a debate.
That's weird. They're all
middles.
They're all middles.
We're probably missing some like
Stacey Jones, but he didn't play too many.
Yeah, we're probably missing. Maybe that's a topic for another day.
That was
Maybe Tuivasa-Sheck maybe could have been if he'd have stayed.
Shawnee Johnson. But for the greatest Kiwi player for me would be Isaac Luke. It's just
Really?
bias. Yeah,
Because he's a hooker.
he's my favourite player growing up.
Was he?
Yeah.
Fuck, he was a knobhead to play against.
Was he?
Oh, mate, he's just a fucking... He was really difficult to play against.
Why?
Because he was really good, for one, which is annoying. And he didn't defend in the middle.
Is he a little bit chirpy, was he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he used, because he was good. That's why I didn't like playing against him, because he was really good. And he used his forwards really well. Like, him at Souths was unreal. Like, he was unreal at Souths. Like, with the Burgess boys and GI, like, he just picked his moments. And I'd like, you'd think, all right, we'll spot you up in the middle because he'd play 80. And he'd only make like 20 tackles. Like, what the fuck? But he was so smart where he positioned himself. So he not hid, but he disguised himself well because he knew he was there to bring that unbelievable attack. So you think how he counteract that? Let's just send a heap of traffic, but you just couldn't get to him.
Well, don't give those pointers out to too many clubs, man. I don't want to be getting traffic sent my way too much. I might have to ring him up, ask him how to fucking disguise myself.
All right, cheese. Enjoy the State of Origin, mate. I'm looking forward to that game, and we'll be up there the buy round. We're doing a live show, so make sure everyone behaves themselves at that because it's an early start.
Are you trying to warn me because my family's coming?
Oh yeah.
Are you telling me that I've got to tell them to behave themselves?
Yeah, they are. We've basically got no listeners coming because it's just the Smith family. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. Maybe they'll give us some dates on you for next week, Midweek Matters. Enjoy the game against Melbourne, cheese. It should be,
Thank you.
Should be a good one. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.